going on, guys? So if you're enjoying the content here on the channel, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and share. That way you never miss out on any of the Naruto lore-based topics that we have here on the channel, like the video that we're about to have here today. So obviously, if you got brought to this video because of the YouTube algorithm, I recommend going to the Naruto Explained homepage, scrolling down to the Naruto novel section, and clicking on the Sasuke Jinraiden playlist. That way you can start the story from the very beginning and get caught up. That way you can join in on all these awesome discussions. So getting right into it, today's edition of Sasuke Jinraiden is pretty damn huge. So essentially, Sasuke isn't going to be fighting Rowan alone. Instead, Sasuke, when all hope seems lost, Sasuke is joined by Itachi Uchiha. Now I know somebody's like, wait a minute, Itachi's dead. Didn't you say that this takes place after Itachi dies? How can Itachi help Sasuke during this time? What in the world is going on here? Like, you've been making Itachi seem like this guy that is thinking 20 steps ahead when he's really only thought 10 steps ahead. What happened here? Are you making this up? No, 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 and no. So essentially, in this moment right here, after Sasuke has been fighting and his senses have been coming back, Sasuke gets a sudden surge of chakra when it seems like he's not going to be able to save Kina, the young boy who Itachi, when he would come to this village, would treat like a younger version of Sasuke and basically treat him like the younger brother that Itachi wasn't able to actually care for. Well, essentially, Sasuke is processing all this information. That helplessness is starting to bubble up, and much in the same way as when he and the members of Team Taka tried to capture Killer Bee, and Sasuke was thinking back to his time as a part of Team 7, and Sasuke ended up using the Matarasu to try and save his team from Killer Bee. Sasuke also gets a little bit of a power up here. So essentially, Sasuke, his memories of Itachi and the power that's flowing into his Sharingan at this point, Sasuke starts feeling the presence of Itachi Uchiha right there on the battlefield. And in that moment, it's something very similar to what you just saw in the Boruto manga, where time had stopped and Momoshiki and Boruto were pretty much face to face. Something very similar is happening with Sasuke and Itachi, to where Sasuke is the only one that's aware of Itachi's presence right there on the battlefield. The two of them are linked in this time, and Sasuke, with that huge surge of chakra, Sasuke is going into battle for round 2 against Rowan. And in this situation, because Rowan and Kina's chakra is linked together and Sasuke has less than 2 minutes to try and even save Kina from Rowan, Sasuke is no longer pulling punches. His vision's been restored, and we're seeing Sasuke Uchiha in just his full, super calculated way of doing things. And this is probably going to be one of your favorite Sasuke battles. So with all of that context finally being added, we're going to jump into the second part of the climax for this battle. And like always, I'm going to begin reading the scene from the light novel. Then I'm going to come back to you guys with my thoughts. And it's here I'm going to begin quoting. Wrath was growing relentless inside of me. My eyes became restless and my pupils began trembling in rage. Like a shark, a feeling of powerlessness was eating me from the inside. Sasuke, Reishi asked. Reishi was staring at me with a confused look. It was at that moment I saw myself reflected in his eyes. I could easily distinguish my red pupils. I had regained my eyesight. Sasuke, your eyes, Reishi began. I felt my strength awaken in that body, no more drained, but flooded with the torrent of new chakra. Reishi tried to place his hand on my shoulder, but he was repelled by shock. Chakra overflowing, dancing, crackling in every part of my body. I sensed Itachi's presence next to me. I wasn't fighting alone. No matter how many enemies the world held in store for me, I would never be alone. At that thought, I felt proud. Was there something more important, meaningful, by any chance? Brother, these eyes, they belong to me, I murmured. I didn't know if those words reached Reishi's ears or not. What are you talking about? Reishi said. Rowan matched exactly the description the ferryman had given me. It had the head of a wolf and the body of a tiger, and teeth as sharp as swords peered from his mouth, ripped up to his ears. The tentacles on its back looked like a silver sea in all respects. Come on, let's seal him, I said, staring at the back with my eyes. We set off in Rowan's pursuit under the pouring rain. Reishi was holding some kunai in his hands. Do you think those toys will be useful? I asked him. They're soaked in poison. A mere scratch could kill an elephant. Reishi replied. We arrived near our target. We leapt from tree to tree as we landed at the beast's sides in a moment. Reishi to the right, threw kunai aiming at his eyes, but Rowan managed to deflect him with his tentacles. Damn it, Reishi shouted. I took advantage of the moment to attack on the opposite side. I focused my Chidori in my right hand and put the left in position. Just like a cat bristling its fur, Rowan extended his tentacles in all directions, cutting through the air like a whip. It gathered them in a rushing stream of silver light and dashed towards me. I inhaled deeply and formed a ring with the thumb and forefinger of my right hand, and I brought my fingers to my mouth. Fire style, great dragon flame jutsu, I shouted. The beast's tentacles were swiftly enveloped by the flames. Rowan roared, writhing in pain, his back on fire. Sasuke, a tentacle at 1 o'clock, right from your hand. Reishi shouted at me, save your breath, I can see clearly now, I replied. Twisting my torso, I jumped on the burning tentacle, and I took flight toward the head of the beast. The sky and the earth changed place. I saw Reishi's worried face with his eyes staring at me. I floated in mid-air for a tenth of a second. Then I suddenly nosedived. I pulled my right hand and aimed at the crown of Rowan's skull. Numerous tentacles were chasing me like hungry snakes. Who do you think I am? I shouted. Arching my back and tilting my head, I managed to avoid every one of them. Chidori! I shouted. The cries of the monster faded in the rumble of the explosion. Good job, I thought to myself. I pinned Rowan's head with all my strength and hurled it to the ground. The soil lifted and the rocks got swept in the air in a cloud of dust. The monster had collapsed on the ground. Reishi promptly threw his kunais, cutting through the thick dust cloud. Come on, make it calm down, he shouted. Rowan, however, warded off the attack. The kunai were rushing at all speeds towards Reishi that, being in midair, wouldn't be able to avoid them. Shadow Shuriken Jutsu, I shouted. Before they could scratch his body, I used the technique to sweep away all the kunai, sticking into the surrounding trees. They dyed the leaves in brown, making them dry in the blink of an eye. Reishi straightened up and landed next to me. He was short of breath and shaking violently. We kept our eyes fixed on Rowan, which rose slowly from the dirt. We've only got a short period of time left. What do we do? Reishi asked. Just keep it still. Just a second will be enough for me, I said. Reishi answered me, stuttering. But there's no Katara left in my body. The spiritual communication of the tiger wolf has. Reishi began. I grabbed him by the collar. Stop whining. Either you make an effort now, or you'll lose Kina forever. There are no alternatives, I said. I don't give a damn about your reasons. Just block that monster for 3 seconds. So I'll be able to use my Genjutsu, I said. Reishi held his breath, then he nodded vigorously. Even if I had talked to him that way, I didn't have full confidence in myself. How could I use my Sharingan? I had no idea. I'll stop that monster at any cost. After that, you'll strike it on its weak spot in order to seal it, I said. With my Sharingan, I was following Rowan's back, which started to walk again. Okay, after that, you'll go and save Kina. Yeah, sure. However, you'll die. The moment that you seal Rowan, his chakra will flow. My Genjutsu will break, and the tentacles of that monster will kill you. I said, well, I'm ready. Reishi replied, I knew you'd say that. I said, Sasuke, what's up? Kina knows I put the recipe for the eye drop. Show it to another herbalist and he'll prepare it for you. I knew you'd say that. End quote. Now, what I like right here is that this battle is continuing, and I cut the video short right here because there's a lot of quick sequences that go on right after this that can basically be summed up here. So essentially, Sasuke is using a combination of the Shadow Shuriken Jutsu, the Chidori Stream, and a few other variations of Chidori in order to try and weaken Rowan and provide cover. And as this battle is raging on, Sasuke's getting closer and closer to getting over towards Rowan, and he's getting into that danger zone where they only have 15 seconds left. And so Sasuke begins trying to use his Genjutsu in order to make Rowan calm down and stand still. That way he can take control of it. And I love this because this falls in line with some of the stuff that we've seen with Sasuke, because Sasuke very sneakily has very, very advanced Genjutsu skills. We saw how Sasuke in the early part of part 2 of Naruto in Shippuden, in the Tenchi Bridge arc, Sasuke was able to enter into Naruto's consciousness and speak with the tailed beast and suppress the nine-tailed fox only using his Sharingan. Sasuke, when he used his mangekyou Sharingan, was able to briefly put Killer Bee under a genjutsu, render his movements completely restrained at that point. He was able to outduel Danzo in genjutsu. Sasuke has quite a few genjutsu feats before you get to what you had in the war arc, where Sasuke put all of the tailed beasts under genjutsu in one instance with one glance that even had Hagoromo turning into a fanboy. So I like this, and I also like it because you also get the opportunity to kind of see the son of Wicked Eye Fugaku Uchiha really showing that his genjutsu is on the level with somebody like Itachi. So I did think that that was kind of cool, just that Sasuke used genjutsu in order to suppress Rowan, in order to give Reishi the opportunity to try and seal Rowan, even though it would come at the expense of his life. And much in the same way that Reishi reminded Sasuke of Itachi, Reishi is also looking at Sasuke like a younger brother. And I thought that that was a very touching moment right there, because Sasuke right now is essentially wrapping up the business that Itachi had here in this village. And I think that that's very fitting, because Sasuke right now, there's a new power that is brimming inside of him. Sasuke knows that the mangekyou sharingan power is something that he's going to have to deal with, because Itachi did give him his life in order to even awaken that power, and Sasuke senses the change that is brewing inside of him. And for a moment, when Sasuke's getting chakra flooding to his eyes, Sasuke is thinking back to Itachi, and it feels like he is fighting alongside Itachi in this village. And I thought that that was very poetic, and I thought it was poetic again that Sasuke was using genjutsu. So we're going to be moving closer towards the end of the story in the next one, because we're going to have a very touching moment where Sasuke comes face to face with that young boy that was in his dreams before, the boy that Sasuke thought was himself. And depending on how you interpret it, that young boy could also be Itachi being in Sasuke's consciousness, which lines up with the fact that Sasuke felt that Itachi was sending chakra through him. So what I want to know from you guys is, how do you guys feel about Sasuke fighting in this manner, using genjutsu and using a bit of logic and pushing forward to try and get Reishi to understand that there's no halfway of doing things when it comes to trying to save those that you care for? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.